A strange mist appeared in a small town, thick and white, gradually expanding. While people initially dismissed it as a natural phenomenon, bizarre events began to unfold. Military vehicles rushed toward the mist as townspeople scrambled to stockpile supplies at the local supermarket. Suddenly, an air raid siren pierced the air. Everyone in the store froze, helplessly staring outside as fear began to spread. Then they spotted an elderly man running toward them, bleeding and injured. He burst into the supermarket in panic, screaming that something in the mist had dragged away his friend. Everyone is freaking out. The old man yelled to close the door, and people quickly closed it. More people pressed against the windows to see what was out there. Suddenly, a man pushed open his door and ran to his car, trying to get away as fast as possible, just as the mist engulfed him. His screams of terror sent everyone scrambling back inside as the mist clung to the glass. People began debating what was happening. Some suggested it was a military experiment, others blamed chemical pollution, and a few claimed it was the apocalypse. A woman spoke up, saying she couldn't stay, her child was home alone. She decided to brave the mist but asked for help. When she approached people one by one, everyone avoided her gaze and remained silent. Devastated, she walked into the mist alone. After some time, David went to find a blanket for his son in the warehouse. The power suddenly went out, and he heard strange noises behind the rolling door. It shook as if something was there. Frightened, David ran back to tell others, but they didn't believe him. A group went down to check and wanted to fix the power. Despite David's warnings, they mocked him as a coward. When they opened the door, at first everything seemed calm. Their laughter quickly faded as the tentacles appeared. Only David rushed up to help, while the two men who were laughing at him were too scared to move. A short man joined David, but they failed to hold off the monster. The slightest touch of the tentacles ripped the flesh from the victim's body, and more came pouring in. They couldn't stop the man from screaming and being dragged away. They barely managed to close the iron gate. Back in the supermarket, they told their story, but a tall black man refused to believe them, despite their attempts to convince him. When David offered to show him proof, he adamantly refused. Fear had made some people deny reality. David leads the others to the warehouse where the shopkeeper finds blood and tentacles. Poking it with a stick, the unknown creature was still alive, but had dissolved into a black liquid. The store owner relayed the gravity of the situation and they began to block the windows of the supermarket with goods in case of an attack. But human nature becomes more extreme. Three groups are formed. David's group wants to face reality head-on, a religious woman preaches doom and scares the others, and the black group remains in denial and intends to go out and get help despite opposition. Seeing their determination, David stopped arguing and instead suggested tying a rope around their waist. If the rope played out completely without incident, it would mean the mist was safe. One person agreed, tied the rope around himself, and slowly walked out of the supermarket alone.